evening, everyone, and welcome inside the Saville Community Sports Center here in Edmonton on the South Campus of the University of Alberta. And boy, do I wish it looked like that outside today. It does not. A lot colder than when we took this drone shot. So glad you could join us inside the Saville Center where it's a lot warmer. On Canada West TV, Grayson Knutson with Carly Jansen and Mariah Walsh here with you. We've got two incredible games for you here tonight as the University of Alberta hosts the University of British Columbia. Two of the top teams on the men's side going to go head-to-head first. Mariah, starting with you. The U of A continue to improve on what they did last year, which was Canada West champions. They've got to try to get that title back and then go a step further at Nationals, and they're off to a great start at 11-3.
Absolutely. The Bears have had a strong season. We saw early on they made some lineup changes, and it seems to be really paying off. As usual with the Bears program, we're seeing new guys coming in and filling the shoes of previous veterans, and I think it's really a testament to the program that they can be excellent year in, year out.
Carly, when it's two teams that have such good records going head-to-head, I think both teams get a little bit extra excited for it. And do you expect some extra fireworks here this evening?
Definitely. I think when you have, like you're talking about, these two rivalries, there's that extra little bit of fight and grit. And I know both of these teams are eager to play. I know they've both been practicing over the preseason. I think they both had preseason mid-season practice in California. So they've kind of got that mentality, and I think they're ready to fight. And it'll be interesting who I think you can see who's really ready to fight, and I think they're both going to come out.
Should be an incredible game between these two teams. Of course, we'll have the ladies following, but first up are the men. We'll step aside for a brief moment for the national anthem before we get to the starting lineups and first serve. Stay with us right here. We'll be back on Canada West TV. Time now to introduce the starting lineups for both teams. We'll begin with the visitors. The University of British Columbia Thunderbirds, 10-4 on the season, second in Canada West, although there is a cluster of teams at 10-4. Of course, it is Spirit Night, green and gold Spirit Night as well. Towels and foam fingers for everyone who comes in. I think we have some here too. We'll show you those in a little bit. Here is the starting lineup for UBC. Second-year outside hitter, number 2, Reeve Ginjera. Number 6 is the outside hitter, second-year out of Barhead, Gavin Mose. Number 7, Connor Tobe, second-year out of Calgary. Number 8, Mason Greaves, the third-year setter, also out of Calgary. Number 20 is Kieran Robinson Dunning, third-year middle blocker. Number 12, James Vincent, also a third-year middle blocker. The libero is Logan Greaves in his third year, also from Calgary, for head coach Mike Hawkins in his 6th season. Now for the University of Alberta Golden Bears, 11-3, first in Canada West, number 2 in the country. We've got Sam Drybro, the setter, wearing number 1 in his third year. Bryce Newells is the libero here, third year from St. Albert. Number 3, Billy Johnstone, fourth year middle blocker out of New Zealand. Number 8, Dylan Martins, first year outside hitter from Winnipeg, getting the start here. Jacob Sargent, second year outside, wearing number 13. Number 17 is Isaac Hesslinger, the impressive third-year outside hitter from Orangeville, Ontario. Your captain is Graydon Weeb, fourth-year middle blocker wearing number 12. And the other libero is number 6, Merrick Edwards. Second year he wears number 6 for head coach Brock Davidoff in his 5th season at the helm of the Golden Bears. In addition to this game being on Canada West TV, we're happy to be featured on CBC Sports Online and CBC Gem as well. So glad you could join us for the U Sports feature match of the week. And again, it is going to be a good one here between the Bears and the Thunderbirds. Alberta 11-3 atop the Canada West standings, UBC, and a couple of other teams right behind. Again, we'll show the standings a little bit later on in the broadcast. There's a look at Mason Greaves, the third-year setter from UBC, one of the best in the country. On the other side, a look at Jacob Sargent, second year out of Lethbridge. Continues to improve on his all-rookie campaign from last year. Getting us underway here this evening, Alberta serving first. It will be the captain, Graydon Weeb, as this match is now underway. First swing of the match is by Tobe, and he gets it off the block and down for a Thunderbird point.
I think it's a good strategy right off the bat for the Thunderbirds to go for the high hands of the Bears. A pretty good blocking team, especially when Johnstone is in the middle.
Alberta third in the conference in blocks per set as Greaves serves up. Hesslinger, and just getting an arm on it, unfortunately, was Gavin Mose.
Yeah, nice start to the new year from Hesslinger. I think this is one of those matches, if it goes long, if there's kind of some trading off of points, it'll be really clear who the go-to is on each side, and Hesslinger is definitely that for the Bears.
Drybro serving here, and then a quick in the middle, Johnstone! A solo block for Billy Johnstone, that's what he does best.
A great block there. Thunderbirds, you couldn't ask for more than that. Perfect pass, even taking the setter into a gap, but nice adjustment there from Johnstone.
That'll be a fun matchup between Johnstone and Vincent right up the middle. Two really good middle blockers in Canada West as Drybro serves one into the net. Connor Tobe now, second year out of Calgary. Back at the service line. Big serve pass nicely by Martins. Johnstone just wide. And so UBC will get that point.
Good connection there, just obviously missed it just by a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if there's another good pass or give it right back to Johnstone. He's a pretty key for the Bears offense.
Martins, who made that pass, just his 12th set of the season, 6th match overall. What a rip that was from Tobe. This one stuck in the block. And a point is going to be scored by UBC. Just poked over by Mose, and it got caught up in the Alberta defenders there.
Yeah, kind of a funny point, but great set from Logan Greaves on the Thunderbirds. He stepped in there, taking control. Really can see how liberos run the offense when the setter is not there.
Got Logan at the libero and Mason as the setter, two key portions of this UBC offense and defense. There's Mason setting up Vincent. Brilliant kill from James Vincent up the middle.
Yeah, really nice set there. And Vincent, I don't know if Johnstone was really ready for that one, but it was a really good attack there. It looked like it was just really quick, and it's really hard when there's a good pass and a fast set to the middle.
I think especially that free ball was really short, so it sped up the play.
Good run of points for UBC, unfortunately comes to an end with a service error from Tobe. And that'll bring Isaac Hesslinger back to the service line. Fourth in the conference in aces coming into action this weekend. Good dig there from Greaves. And Gingera found hands. A couple of times UBC has gone off fingertips to score.
And UBC's making it look really easy. I mean, very difficult serve, but Greaves just doing a really good job of fighting with that pass, and then a really nice, like you said, solid attack going high off the hands.
Vincent will serve now. Big 6'11" middle blocker, and that one will float a little bit too far.
It will be interesting. It's early in the set so far, but both teams have made a really good job. They've run the point, and they've gone back and missed that serve. So when we get later in the game, that really becomes a key situation where you don't want to miss those serves. It kind of ends a run that you could maybe get.
Bet it's a little bit warmer in New Zealand as Billy Johnstone gets ready to serve. Big shout out to everybody watching from all over, and a cross-court kill from Gingera.
Yeah, another nice swing from Gingera. He's off to a strong start here. This is a nice set. There's just enough of a gap, and I think he even went inside Graydon Weeb there. So really surprising angle from Gingera.
Quick attack for Weeb, and he just couldn't quite get it over the net there. Maybe a little bit further off than he was thinking he was.
Yeah, that one's a little tough, like you said, Grayson. A little further off the net, and it's really hard to plant that one down, and I think we really wanted to put that sharp into the court. So maybe if it's not a set that you necessarily want, it's a good time to maybe just get that win in or find those deep corners that usually tend to work.
Alberta taking a timeout, 8-4 UBC. We'll step aside as well and be right back. Canada West TV.
Look at this view. Soak it in, everyone. This is our city.
Global News, our city, our news.
So look inside the UBC huddle as they have the early advantage here at the Saville Center in Edmonton. Glad you could join us on your Friday. Grayson, Carly, and Mariah here with you. Thunderbirds had a nice weekend last weekend, a sweep of both games on the road against UBC Okanagan. 3-0, 3-0 to begin the 2024 portion of the schedule. Gavin Mose from just up the way in Barhead, wearing the number 6 in the middle for the Thunderbirds. A strong Alberta contingent on this UBC squad, and there is a handful of supporters, parents, friends, family here, as well as you would suspect. And one of those Alberta kids, Gingera, puts it into the, or pardon me, he's from Vancouver, but he puts it into the net anyway, as we'll take a look at that once again. Jacob Sargent now for Alberta will give that error right back, sending in long. So both teams have made a couple of mistakes from the service line thus far.
But it does help when both teams are making those similar mistakes, so it's a lot harder when one team is making those mistakes.
Yeah, especially when the likes of Johnstone and Vincent are front row. You know why they're missing those serves. They've got to go after it to prevent the perfect pass straight to a kill.
Martins was stuffed. What a block from Mason Greaves on the edge. Another look at it here on replay. First swing of the game for Martins. There was just nowhere to go.
Yeah, that's a great block.
Drybro looking to go right back to Martins, blocked again, but the ball will stay in play, and then a mishandle from Sargent. 2 contacts the call. Thunderbirds up now by a half dozen.
I think that was a smart play from Martins, a bit of a tougher ball and playing it high off hands. And we know Sargent doesn't make that error very often. So the Bears are definitely supporting those younger players like Martins.
Quick for Weeb. Great set from Drybro. Hung in the air there to knock that one back to his middle.
Yeah, really nice play there. Maybe not the most ideal spot to run in middle, but Weeb was following his setter, and a really nice connection there, and Weeb doing a really good job of finding that later half of the court.
Yeah, that's a great swing from there.
Martins finds the sideline with an ace. Big time serve there from Martins, the freshman out of Winnipeg. Gingerra from the back, it's long, no touch. Point Alberta. The Bears are starting to take some of this lead away. They've cut it in half down to 3.
A really nice swing by Gingerra, though. He didn't miss it by much, so really nice to see that he was aggressive on that swing. You need that when there's two competitive teams playing against each other.
Yeah, he's definitely a key part of their offense, front or back row.
Robinson
Another nice middle
with
play,
a middle
though.
play, yeah.
I like to
UBC
see
clearly
it.
going for the middle attacks, trying to establish that.
Yeah, I think one thing both teams are doing really well, when the pass takes the setter into a gap between blockers, they're really forcing the middle. And every time they do that, it gives the middle a chance to score through a gap, but it also makes the other side be honest and think about that middle offense every ball.
Back row Sargent, and he got stuck right in between the hands of Greaves there on the block attempt.
Looks like we've got a couple of sports teams here
There's
to
a few,
support.
yeah.
Might get a little rowdier as the game goes on.
The server's Weeb. Just a hair long with that float serve from Graydon Weeb.
Not a far miss, but Braden Weeb is one of those servers on the Bears that you want him to get on a roll. He's got a really great float serve, so not the best situation for the Bears, but hopefully they can kind of recoup in this play.
Mason Greaves will serve. Hessling blocked, but it goes out of bounds. Vincent and Gingerra were up to form the wall.
Yeah, nice play here from Hesslinga. When you're up against a strong block, he's got to be hitting that with a lot of pace to create that angle.
Drybro serving. Pass there from Tobe. Middle attack that time. It didn't quite work out the way the T-Birds were hoping.
Kind of a similar situation that happened on the Bears earlier with Weeb. The set's off the net, and so it's a great play to run. Just have to execute it, and didn't really find the connection there.
Another serve for Sam Drybro. There's a back row look. Pops over the net. Drybro, Hesslinga. Good dig by Greaves with the pancake, and unfortunately, though, second contact took it too far out of the field of play.
I think that's some of the first off speed we've seen tonight from Hesslinga, and it looks like that might pose a challenge, so I wouldn't be surprised if he brings back a little bit of those tips to challenge the T-Birds.
And Hesslinga is really good at, off speed and all those different shots, so yeah, I would agree with Mariah.
Timeout UBC. The lead is down to 1. We'll be right back on Canada West TV. So as we mentioned, it is Green and Gold Spirit Night here, and the ladies have their foam fingers. Just kind of fun, honoring the history and the legacy, the spirit of Green and Gold, University of Alberta. I know you guys are proud alums and enjoyed your time here immensely. So just what does it mean to still rep the Green and Gold?
For me, it's just being part of such a cool community. There's tons of high performers, and I think just a lot of pride to be part of the Green and Gold.
Totally. I've been out for a while. Don't want to say how many years, but it's just you're still a family and you're still connecting with everyone. So it's just a great community.
Billy Johnstone with a big time kill to even things up at 13 apiece. That 6-point lead for UBC has evaporated. They did play good defense up until that point. Another over bump, and it's put down easily by Hesslinga. But they're going to call him on a carry. So it's going to be a point for UBC.
I guess he just held that one a little bit too much, but funny enough, I was going to say a smart play. Sometimes people want to hit that, but I guess maybe he just held it for a little bit too long.
In a match like this, those can be the kind of mistakes that could come back to haunt you. We'll see if that happens here. Sargent, that was blocked. Again, Vincent and Gingera.
I think that's a good idea from Sargent. Like we were saying before, some of the off-speed might be challenging for the T-Birds, but I would say this block hangs in the air a lot longer than most teams in Canada West, and so I think Sargent might be a little surprised by that the first time, but I doubt we'll see him make that error again.
Again, we mentioned that Vincent is 6'11", Gingera listed at 6'4", but there aren't many in Canada West who can jump as high as he can, and as I say that, he gets rejected.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's another one from a volleyball family of very high verticals. So it's kind of cool to see him out there next to Vincent, who also, you know, all of these guys work on their strength. I previously trained Vincent, lots of squats, lots of work on the vertical for everyone, but it's extra important when you're smaller.
Little tip there from Gavin Mose. Scores a point for the T-Birds. They're up by a couple, 16-14.
Yeah, really wise tip there. Kind of what we're talking about, the Bears needing to execute on that side. I think Mose did a really good job of finding that tip. So I think the Bears, we've been talking about it, finding that different off speed, and Mose executed that really well in that last play.
Floats that one over. Here's a look for Sargent. Blocked, and it's going to be scrambled over, but again, a lift going to be called on the Alberta Golden Bears. And another timeout going to be taken by Brock Daviduck. So a little bit of a tricky start for the Bears here. Up and down, a little bit of a roller coaster thus far.
Yeah, I think maybe a couple frustrating calls. Not bad calls necessarily, but you know, sometimes you can control a carry. So I think the Bears just kind of need to wash it off. Not really wash it off, but not let that frustration creep into their game. Because sometimes players don't play great with frustration. Sometimes they play better when they get a little angry, but kind of just depends on the player. But I think they just need to focus on their side out of this timeout.
UBC, on the other hand, Mariah, they will be thankful for some of those errors, but some of the things that they're doing are causing some of these mistakes as well.
Absolutely. I'm thinking about those hard serves that are forcing the Bears to maybe set guys who wouldn't normally be getting that ball or make different choices and just create some discomfort on the Bears side of things. I think the T-Birds right now are also doing really well against the Bears block. When they're seeing space, they're either chucking it down or going high off hands. So they're definitely challenging the Bears, and as you said, you want some of those points back. When it's a very well-matched team, we can think of 3 points right away that were Bears mistakes, and that's the only difference right now between them.
Ready to get it back underway out of that timeout. Brock Daviduck has used both of his now in this first set, and Vincent will set it wide. So maybe a coach's point there.
And I think that's two
Daviduck.
coaches' points.
There you go.
I think first timeout resulted in the same.
Substitution on the Alberta side. We're going to see Luke Waddell come in for Billy Johnstone to serve. Waddell, a consistent server for the U of A. Second year out of Red Deer, Lindsay Thurber High School. And as I jinx him again, the curse of the commentator is striking
You
often
should know
here
better by now,
early.
Mason.
Yeah. Johnstone will come back on the floor for Waddell and then step out on the libero. Newells comes back on. Here's Gingera, Guba, with a kind reminder to just not commit a foot fault. Big serve, Gingera comes back on the UBC side. There's a look for Mose. That, again, another chance for the T-Birds. Back row, Gingera found that corner.
And Greaves doing a really good job of making those sets. You can see that he knows the defense side really well. He takes a glance at what's open, and that first set, really good, great attack, and then that last set by Gingera, lots of room. So really nice job of Greaves of finding those open hitters.
Yeah, I think he's doing a great job at being deceptive as well. He's getting one-on-ones, although Hesslinga made a great dig there too.
How about that from Isaac Hesslinga, right out of the pipe.
Yeah, a couple of smiles on the T-Bird side. I think it's just an example of really good execution for both teams. I'm sure we'll see a lot more of that pipe. This is the phase of the match where we start to see Hesslinga a lot.
Another serve substitution here. Sargent comes out, Matt Shand comes in, the third year from Prince George, BC. Middle attack, and it's hammered by Robinson Dunning.
Great swing. We could hear the pace on that ball. Sometimes with middle, it's more about the speed or hitting it deep, but that definitely came with some heat.
Sargent returning for Shand as we look at Robinson Dunning's kill once more. Server's Mose, and he put it into the net. (20-17). The Bears need a little bit of a run here, and Dylan Martins provided that last time around with an ace and a couple of other points. Good pass there from Logan Greaves. Then Mason sets it up for Connor Todd, pardon me.
Yeah, really nice execution there by the Thunderbirds.
Yeah, a nice overload offense there. So we've got the middle blocker in a similar zone as the outside, and that just tied up the Bears block, which opened up the line. Really well executed.
This is Nicholas Johnson serving for Kieran Robinson Dunning. Hesslinga on the back line. No defenders there to pick that one up. We'll see Robinson Dunning return for Johnson and then make way for Logan Greaves, the libero.
Drybiro did a really good job on, I think, pushing out that set. I don't know, I'm not a setter, but I think that was a really nice play and really fast pace and gave Hesslinga a lot of room, and he hit it nicely over top of the UBC defenders.
Creighton Weeb with another service error. You don't usually see that from the Bears captain twice in the same set. 4-point lead for the T-Birds as Mason Greaves is back to serve. Johnstone into hands. Another chance. Hesslinga cross court, kept alive. One more opportunity for Alberta. Johnstone got it to go.
A great move by Johnstone. I don't really know how he contorted his body that way, but he was coming in really aggressively, and then he just really torqued his shoulder, I suppose, to that other side. So really
My arm came out of the socket, and I'm not playing. Rolled over there by Gingera. High ball, Hesslinga rolled it over. Gingera, offhand dump, what a dig! Newells keeping the play going. First really long rally of the match. Martins this time keeps it alive. Hesslinga recycle opportunity. Drybro, Sargent. Net touch UBC. And the Bears are fired up, why not?
Really nice composure by both teams during that rally. And sometimes you just have to wait until one team makes a mistake, and Bears did a really good job of forcing the UBC to make that net error.
Yeah, I think in that rally we're starting to see all of the tactics that these guys are playing with. With a team that is so physical as the Bears or the T-Birds, it's easy to think they're just hammering the ball each time, but something to watch out for Gingera in that last rally. He got kind of a awkward set. He rolled it over, it looks really easy, but it's right to the Bears setter, and that opens up really only one potential. The libero is going to be setting. It makes things much, much easier to defend. So it's interesting with these two teams. They're very physical, but they're also really being careful about where they're putting that ball, forcing the other team with tactics.
Lead cut to 2. Mike Hawkins took a timeout here, so both teams have exhausted their first set timeouts. Nice little crowd on hand here at the Saville Center, considering it's minus 35 outside. Some people braving the cold to come out.
Very brave.
Said if we're here for a while, I'm a little bit worried that the car's not going to start in the parking lot when we go to leave, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But lots of people out on Legacy Night once again. Both teams returning to the floor. Business end of set number 1, UBC with that all-important 2-point lead here. The server's Drybro. There's a back row look wide open and put to the floor by Mose.
What a great play. I'm biased, I love a pipe, but especially here you'll see, because this is kind of the first time they've ran this in this situation, Johnstone fully biting with the middle. Really great set there from Greaves.
Now Tobe. Big serve, Newells got underneath of it. Sargent just wiped it off the block and down. Keeps the Bears alive here in set number 1.
I think that's also good to see on the Bears side. At the beginning of this set, they were getting beat by the T-Bird block in scenarios like that. So strong point, no surprise though from Hesslinga.
Here he is back at the service line. Good pass from Logan Greaves. And that leads to a kill from James Vincent.
Again, a really nice look by Greaves, and then Vincent, they're ready for it, and it's really hard to defend that on the Bears side.
Couple of set points to work with here for UBC. And it's going to be James Vincent. Into the net, so we're not done yet. We got 2 points needed for Alberta here, and going to see a substitution with Weeb coming out. Enis Bisharovich, the 4th year out of Melbourne, Australia, will join the front row and the defense there. They'll leave Johnstone in to serve. Another chance for UBC. Mose again off the block. Johnstone couldn't get down in time, and the Thunderbirds are going to win the opening set 25-22.
I think that's probably a point the Bears wanted back, and especially when it is that game or that set match or that set point. Because it was a great block by the Bears, just maybe not expecting it or what. But I think the Bears need to kind of, I think they started a little slow, and as the game went on, they got a little better. So it'd be interesting how they come out in this next match at the very beginning.
Mariah, from a UBC perspective, obviously happy to get that first one on the road, but they've got a couple things they could tighten up as well.
Yeah, I think with their type of program, they'll always be looking to improve. And the thing with playing the Bears is they made several errors in that set, and I think the T-Birds are probably aware if they don't make those errors, it's a tighter game. The T-Birds were missing some serves at the beginning. Of course, it's always a risk-reward thing, but I think they'll be looking to work on that, and then probably their serve receive as well. I'm thinking of those overpasses where they got a bit lucky, the Bears maybe made an error on them, but they'll want to keep those passes in a position where they've got the middle option. I think that really helps them this set. They had the middle as an option, they introduced the pipe, and then they've got those quick sets to the outsides. I think we'll see in the stats many T-Birds contributed to the kills, so they may need to have that type of variety to stay successful against the Bears defense.
Thunderbirds win the opening set. We'll have set number 2 coming up shortly. Stay with us, Canada West TV. Back inside the Saville Community Sports Center here, South Campus of the University of Alberta in Edmonton, getting ready for set number 2 between the T-Birds and Golden Bears. UBC winning the opener 25-22. Grayson Knudsen with Carly Jansen and Mariah Walsh here with you. Hope you're enjoying your Friday evening. The ladies have had a chance to peruse the stats. And what jumps out at you guys?
Well, the offense always jumps out at me, but particularly tonight, the T-Birds, just a much higher hitting percentage right now. They're scoring a lot more. They've got, so far, 12 kills with only 5 errors. The Bears sitting at 10 kills and 5 errors. So when everything else is pretty equal, that is the differentiation right now.
Hesslinger, that one's dug up. Rolled over there by Tobe. Another look for Hesslinger. Dig again by Logan Greaves. Tobe once more. This time he found some room in the block.
And it'll be interesting to see on the replay here how he got through that block, because it looked like Johnstone was in a pretty good position with Dryborough, but maybe a little bit of a field goal there between Dryborough. So just put those hands together, and that would be a block for the Bears.
Just picking on the setter a little bit.
I was going to say good
Matchup.
tactics.
Good matchup.
Hesslinger, good drop shot that time, right in front of the libero Greaves.
Especially because in the previous rally, Hesslinger was hitting a lot to that corner, and that's where those digs were being made. So really smart of testing the defense and making them on their toes.
Sam Dryborough puts that one into the net. When it came to errors in that opening set, Alberta had 5 with 1 ace. UBC had 6 service errors with no aces, so neither coach will be too thrilled with those numbers. Connor Tobe, second year out of Calgary. Sargent put it around the block that time.
Yeah, that'll be Sargent's 4th kill with only 1 error. So he's working on that percentage. Fairly low volume to each of the Bears right now, but several of them with attempts.
How did that stay off the floor? Well done by the Thunderbirds, and Johnstone ripped it off hands, and a net touch. Vincent puts his hand up, says, yeah, that was my bad. And a point for Alberta, but some really nice defense by UBC prior to that. See, there's the net touch by Vincent. Hesslinger. Mose, lots of room there. You can see he took a quick peek, saw that there was no defenders within about 5 feet, and he dropped the ball in.
That was a great play, especially on a 3-person block. I think maybe the Juve libero a little bit too far behind the block, so, but you know what? It's a great spot.
That serve from Vincent. Martins off hands. Here come the T-Birds. Ginjera over top of the block, but out the back. Point Alberta. Another look at it here. Did get it over the hands of Martins, just couldn't snap it down in time.
Yeah, probably going for a touch there. I think that block was well positioned, so you might say they forced him out of bounds.
Billy Johnstone to serve. A little bit too much mustard on it. 4 apiece here, early days, set number 2, Reeve Ginjera. Part of that Canadian national team that took part in the Norseca Men's Final 6 in Edmonton back in September. A couple of T-Birds were on that squad. Poked over there by Sargent, who was also on that team. Just blown right through the block by Mose.
Yeah, nice swing from Mose. I think that something impressive about the T-Birds is their transition offense. These aren't kills off serve receive. That's not an easy situation, and that's a 3-man block with some of the best guys in the country. So really impressive transition off defense.
Good pass from Newells. Basharovich is stayed in the game here to begin set number 2. Good play by Sargent, off hands, out of bounds, point Alberta.
Yeah, speaking of transition, what a dig from Drybro. What a huge benefit to have a libero on the court as your setter. They look so comfortable here with him digging and then Newell's stepping in to set.
And Sargent, really great hit, didn't have much of attack, but still staying aggressive with that and not worrying about those hands, but going after them.
Popped up high, and Newell's got a piece of it, but can't control it. Moe's having a really nice run of points here in this second set.
And I think that's a big thanks to Greaves. I think Greaves is having a really great game. Mariah mentioned it earlier in that last set. He's just very deceptive. And it kind of looked like he was going for a dump there, and the Bears bid on it and putting his positions in a great hitting position.
Greaves is the conference leader in total assists as well as assists per set.
Yeah, one thing to watch with Greaves, that last set, super tight. He's playing really well around the net, and he's only 6 feet, which I know outside of Canada West is tall, but you know, a smaller player, and he just looks very comfortable around the net.
Here's Dylan Martins getting a point for the Bears. Even up at 6 here, and it will be Martin serving. Tight for Greaves again. Did well just to keep it alive. Now a joust at the net, still alive. UBC scrambled that one off the floor. Now Hesslinga puts it down.
Yeah, an interesting play. I don't really know what happened with the joust, with the setter joust, but good job on UBC to kind of get that grit and get those digs. Really, really tough defense to play against.
And I think a good choice from Drybro, forced that ball all the way out to where Greaves should have been blocking. It's a hard ball to get back to.
Center dump from Drybro. First time he's went to the well there, yeah.
Waiting for one of these setters to make that dump, and you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if Greaves kind of went back with a little setter dump, little competition there.
He has a look. Blocked. Big stuff by Basharovich as he denies Kieran Robinson-Dunning.
And nice block there from Basharovich. Really good read. He was subbed into the front row around game point for exactly that reason. He's very dependable on the defensive side of things.
Timeout taken by Mike Hawkins as the Bears have seen a lead grow to 3 points here. Doing it with a little bit of defense and offense for Alberta here in set number 2. It's a great look at the huddle. We need to get the mic in next to see what they're saying.
Oh, yeah.
How technology has changed.
Right? There is Sam Drybro, too, and we talk about how well he's done as a setter, but coming into the season, I don't even think he was a thought at setter, at least in the early days.
Yeah, he is just an example of being such a team player, being willing to contribute, and really having a well-rounded skill set. My setting coach growing up always said that you should be able to set or play libero if you're one of those positions, and I think it's very impressive how he's transitioned into the front row, and I think also impressive from Brock Daviduck to be able to work in that different physicality. They've been creative with some of their solutions, and it's kind of cool to watch.
Martin's a little bit frustrated after he sends his serve into the net. Kieran Robinson-Dunning from Victoria, BC in his 3rd season. Transfer from the BC Collegiate League, Pac West with Camosun College. Here's a back row look for Sargent, and that goes out the back, no touch point for the Thunderbirds.
Yeah, we saw that C ball be successful early on, kind of hit it through the T-Bird block, but I don't think it's been as much of the Bears' game plan as we've seen in other matches, so I'm sure they'll go back to it. It's such a key play with a front row setter.
Another serve from Robinson-Dunning. This one goes into the net. Freebie for Alberta. And they've got a 2-point lead.
I was just going to say it's a really good chance for Alberta to kind of extend the gap, and I think they really need that to close the set and just to get, I think, a little bit more confidence in their game. I think they're doing a much better job in this set, but I think they just need a couple more points to get a more comfortable leave and, you know, feel comfortable in trying a couple more things and staying aggressive.
Bisharovich will just give it right back. He's another former Pac West player and has started with the Capilano University Blues. Mason Greaves, the setter for the Thunderbirds. Hesslinga, goodness, right at the attack line, smoke to the floor.
Wow. Yeah, that angle, the pace.
It's a great view from this angle. That ball was not being dug by anyone.
Another serve for Drybro. Tough one for Ginchera, but he's so good with that offhand. Got it over again. Little roll from Hesslinga. Had to reach back, put some English on that thing to get it over.
Yeah, we've seen that roll before to the T-Bird. So I think Hesslinga did it earlier. It rolled right in front of the libero. So good to see Greaves trying to go for it, but I think that's a really hard angle. I think it's got to be somebody cross court getting under it.
Well, especially when Hesslinga has so many other shots, you can get that deep angle, so you don't want to commit too early to that roll shot. So yeah, very tough.
That one went straight down onto the Bears' side. Swing from Mose once again. Connor Taube, part of the Canadian Youth National Team. A couple of players run into each other, and I think even if Sargent got that over, it would have been 4 contacts. Good spot for that serve. Newells and Martins, maybe not exactly familiar with sharing the court a ton together, just discussing things. Make sure they get it right for the next time around. UBC back within 1 as Taube lets it fly, but it goes long. Isaac Hesslinga, Orangeville, Ontario. Big shout out to everybody watching out east as well, of course. Love to have you tuned in. Ginchera, big block goes up, but goes out of bounds. Point UBC.
The Bears would have had that block. They were set just shoulders facing out of the court. But had they just turned in those shoulders, would have been a really great block.
James Vincent, ready to serve for the T-Birds. Sargent, fingertips. Another net touch against the Thunderbirds, and Mose knew it too. A little sheepish as he goes back to the huddle. It's a few times now UBC in this set particularly has got a little bit too tight, come up with a net touch.
Yeah, that's one thing. When you're playing a rival, it's tight like this and you have to be aggressive. Sometimes it can turn into recklessness around the net.
That ball from Johnston just floated and floated and floated. It never came down.
Drop.
Out of bounds, another error. 1 point set here, 14-13, basically midway through it. Here's Ginchera. Big serve. Martins just plays it over. Here come the Birds. Big block! Bisharovich and Sargent.
That's a great block. Martin's obviously not wanting to put over a free ball, but this is really good teamwork from the Bears. They're backing him up, and anytime you get a block when you've given up a free ball, good time.
I said Bisharovich was there, but that was all Jacob Sargent taking that one away, and now he's back at the service line. Another look for Mose. Newells diving for it. Back row, Hesslinga, and I think the set was maybe a little bit too low.
I think he looked a little rushed. That's a tough angle because it's coming from his Hesslinga's offside. And it can be a good choice for that reason because it's a fast offense, but it looks like maybe he just didn't get, I think it was a combination of maybe the height and it wasn't quite to his hitting arm.
The one from across your body is so hard to line
That's
up
what they
properly.
tell me.
Drybro saves this one. Sargent got a good rip too. But we keep playing. Ginchera from the back. Off the block. Point UBC.
UBC may have gotten that point, but really good job of the Bears to not let that point die. Drybro making a great set, and then Sargent coming and hitting it great, but UBC ended up winning that one. But
Yeah, I think both sides, not perfect scenarios, but we can see how physical these guys are hitting back row sets like that.
Martins blocked. Still up for grabs. Bisharovich recycle. Martins blocked again, and then Hesslinga just got it caught right in between the arms there as he went for the bump.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
But again, great defense from both sides. You can see that they both really want to keep this ball alive, and so it's a great set going on here. And I think they both really want. There's that grit you see between these rivalries.
Middle, Bisharovich again rejected. Martins found a way through, but it was right at a man, Tobe, and then Ginchera, another point from the back. UBC starting to roll. They're up by 2 at 17-15, and Brock Davidoff is going to take a timeout here.
Yeah, Ginchera just looks very comfortable hitting off hands, hitting that C ball. Definitely one of their dependable athletes.
So again, UBC up by a couple. Alberta timeout. We'll take a break as well and be right back on Canada West TV.
To Harp, Carey. She's going to try for her 8th three-pointer of the game, and she hits it. The bench are up.
Good hustle from Trinity once again to keep it alive. Braden Weeb.
Wow, what a play from the Bears there.
Something to rush with them. Here's Blue, drop back. Adam Hall shot scores. Adam Hall, step one.
Back inside the Saville Center. The crowd starting to get into it a little bit here. But we're getting the dueling chants. Let's go T-Birds, let's go Bears. It's a fun atmosphere here on a Friday night. Grayson, Mariah, and Carly here with you. Martins off hands right at Logan Greaves. Tobe. Newells kept it alive. Martins again blocked. Got some help from behind him. Hesslinga tips it over. Another lengthy rally developing. Good dig by Hesslinga. Sargent, second contact for Martins. Another block by, hold on, a net touch on UBC.
I was gonna say UBC does so well at these long rallies, but it has happened, I think, 4 times where they've ended their own long rally win with a net touch. So just a little bit of undisciplined play, I think.
But saying that, I think UBC does a really good job of, yeah, they touched the net, but lots of teams would be like, no, it didn't touch the net. But I think UBC does a really good job of accepting the call and moving on to the next point. I think they've done a really good job of that turnaround. But they can stop that turnaround if they, like Mariah said, don't touch the net.
Martins just a shade long with his serve. Keeps that 2-point lead for the Thunderbirds. Kieran Robinson-Dunning takes a moment to gather himself before letting it go. Back row, Sargent! No touch, point, UBC. Oh, they say he also had a toe on the line.
That's a tough one. Sargent's such a big player for the Bears, and I think tonight that C-ball is just not quite hit its stride. So I guess fitting to have the double sub. That way the Bears can still have offense from the right side without needing to rely on the C-ball.
So Waddell will come in for Sargent. He'll do the setting. Liam Esposito subbing in here for Sam Drybro. Esposito has played in 10 matches throughout the season, 29 different sets.
This is one awesome part of the Bears this year. They've got multiple setters ready to step in here.
And they go right to the left-hander. And why not? Waddell goes right to the guy he came on the floor with, and they combine for a point.
It's always nice to see that as a double sub, to actually use that double sub. That's why they're putting them on for a little bit of a fresh look for the other team, and a really good execution.
Yeah, I'm really impressed both with Waddell and Esposito. They're relatively young players, and they have talked to us on the webcast. They're very much part of the team, huge contributors.
The Bears subbed Graydon Weeb into serve there for Bisharovich, but once again, Graydon Weeb just not finding it from the back line, and usually, as we mentioned, one of the most consistent servers for Alberta.
And I think he was, like you said, subbed in there for that serve, and he hasn't had a great serving run this game so far, but I guess as a coach, you kind of hope that they can get it together and help out with that serve.
What a block by Vincent! Holy smokes! That's one of the biggest blocks I've seen. Here's another look at it.
Wow.
Hesslinger ripped it, but Vincent said, not today, son.
I suppose if you hit really hard, sometimes you have to expect that there is a monster block, as they would say.
So a timeout taken by Brock Davidoff, his second of the set. We'll take a short break as well. Okay, we're back inside the Saville Center here in Edmonton. UBC up by 4. Carly, the Golden Bears just need to tighten things up, but UBC is certainly not making it easy, particularly when it comes to the block. And it's a team that's about middle of the pack, 7th in the conference in blocks a set.
Yeah, and they're doing a really exceptional job, but I think the Bears just kind of need to, I don't know if they've been really playing as themselves, but like you said, when a rival comes out and they are putting all they have out there, it is really hard, maybe a little bit intimidating. So I think they just need to go back to their roots, and just focus on their side, and kind of some of those hits before, focus on different, like Hessling at the deep shot and off speed. Johnstone in the middle, and then I think they can chip away.
Just like that, that's how you get the point. I was going to say it was 9-6 Alberta, but it's a 15-8 run for UBC to give them the lead before Johnstone put that one down. Double sub made again. Waddell Esposito out. And we see Drybro and Sargent return, and it will be Sam Drybro serving. Logan Greaves diving at it. Mason Greaves stabbing, but nobody can reel that one in. Tricky serve from Drybro.
Great play from Drybro. That last side out with the Johnstone kill is so awesome. We remember that one, but with this score the way it is, if they just side out, the Bears are losing this set. So what they really need is what Drybro's doing right now.
Need to steal a couple of points with serve. Gingerra, though, gets it right back for UBC, knocking it off the block and out.
He's done really well off the block tonight. Very impressive player. I think he sees the court well, and he's really challenging the Bears. It's kind of up to them to stop him.
And I was going to say the Bears can really maybe change or alter the score if they really focus on the block, because he has been using their block really well. So I think they just need to, but again, harder, easier said than done.
Bears third in the conference in blocks a set. Johnstone! Oh, he's getting involved offensively now. The middle blocker for the U of A. You know, he's dealt with some injury throughout the year, but starting to look like he's rounding into form a little bit now.
Yeah, what a great swing. It's got to be frustrating to block him because he hit that super sharp last time to 5, turning this one over the block back to 6 this time.
Gingerra, another kill And a brilliant first pass, too, from Connor Tobe.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, go ahead, Mariah.
No, I was just cringing a little bit. Cringing or celebrating, depends how you look at it. Great set from Greaves. Maybe a little bit surprising that Johnstone fully jumped on that one. But UBC has tons of offense, so it really could go to anyone at this point.
Nicholas Johnson subbed in, another serve sub here. James Vincent, the man he replaces. Johnson, a left-hander as well. Martins had a rip at it. Greaves was there, but that thing had a lot of pepper, and it bounced out of bounds.
That's a great attack by Martins. I don't think we've really seen him hit one that aggressively. He was just so confident coming to that ball, and it was just great to see, especially with a score like this. So really nice, great execution by Martins.
And he'd been blocked a lot in this set too, so to go up and swing like that meant a lot.
Yeah.
Johnstone serving.
I think a testament to Drybro putting Martins in a great position. When somebody's been getting blocked a lot, it's a really nice choice to give them a perfect set and a one-on-one.
Nobody's stopping Reeve Gingerra at the moment. Another point to bring up set points for UBC. All fingertips straight down, around the block, doesn't matter. He's got all the shots. Of course, his dad played on the senior national team for Canada. That one from Mose is out the back, but there was a touch. So it is a UBC point, and they'll take this second set 25-21. Let's see if we can spot that touch here on the replay. Oh, maybe, yeah. Looked like the fingers bent back a little bit.
I'd say the ball looked like it had a little bit of a funky spin, so a tough call anyway for the Bears. Maybe not a way that you don't want to lose a game or a set at all, but you know, not really any momentum that they had going there except for maybe that kill by Martins. But it'll be interesting how they come out in this third set because obviously they need to win this to get a fourth.
Yeah, this is a big set, and it is a 2-0 UBC lead, Mariah, but I think you could argue it could easily be 1-1, maybe even 2-0 the other way.
Yeah, I think it's one of those matches where a few points go in a different direction and, you know, it could have been a Bears set. At the same time, isn't that what makes a team great, is that you are the team on the right side of that. So I think it is a long match. We know the Bears are great in 5 sets, so I wouldn't be surprised if they sort of have a resurgence here, but right now, definitely some statistical differences they'll need to take care of.
We'll see what happens in set number 3 when we return. Stay with us right here on Canada West TV.
Abby Soy, go, she scores!
Want to know the recipe for a great time? Green, gold, and Sherlock Holmes. It's the place to be before, during, and after the game, and it's right on campus. We continue to be a proud sponsor of Golden Bears and Pandas Athletics. Everyone has a Sherlock story. What's yours?
Back inside the Saville Community Sports Center, South Campus of the University of Alberta here in Edmonton. 2-0 UBC leads the Golden Bears after 2 sets. Grayson Knudsen with Carly Jansen and Mariah Walsh. Just wanted to talk standings here. We're into that part of the season now, aren't we, where they are important. Alberta first at 11-3, then a cluster at 10-4, UBC, Brandon, and Manitoba, and then Mount Royal, Saskatchewan right behind at 9-5, and then Winnipeg at 8-6 is not too far behind either. So all of these matches super important. And if you're UBC and you're up 2-0 here, you're going, hey, look, if we can take this match on the road and have another opportunity to do it again tomorrow, they got to like that a lot. They got a chance to leapfrog Alberta this weekend.
Yeah, it definitely would be a big win for the T-Birds. I think it's one of those moments, though, where you've got to stay really present. The more exciting it is that you've got a team down 2-0, the more likely it is that they have the capacity to come back. But, yeah, definitely an important time in the season to lock in some wins.
Starting off with an ace, Jacob Sargent gives a little flex to the bench, too, and says, we got to go, boys.
I was going to say, I think they're trying to get everyone involved, even if you're not on the court. Just the bench can provide some sort of energy as well. So really nice to see right off the bat that there's the intensity.
And last set, we saw 7 errors, no aces from the Bears serving. So good to start with an ace, although, of course, I say that as there is a service error.
1-1 that time for Sargent. Mason Greaves has to certainly be firmly in that conversation for top setter in Canada West this season. Hesslinga over the block, but what a dig in the back there by Mose. Esposito on the floor to begin set 3, and he will use the block to pick up a point.
Yeah, Esposito really contributing here. We saw that kill in the second set, and then confidently here, the ball's out of system, a non-setter feeding it to him, but he's such a solid player.
Esposito in for Martins here in this third set. Billy Johnstone serving. Just got it over. A couple of T-Birds diving at it. They do scramble it back, and then a misplay by Bisharovich. And it's going to be a point here. 4 contacts against Alberta. That was strange.
Yeah, the Bears should have taken advantage of that. When you get a free ball, you need that 3 pass to run the offense, but unfortunate for the Bears there.
See there the 4 contacts. Giving UBC the point. This is Connor Tobe. Toss, I think, let him down a little bit. It was a big lead with the throw, and he was leaning a little bit too far, put it into the net. So here is Liam Esposito out of Port Coquitlam, Fraser Valley Volleyball Club. Good serve there, popped up. Mose cross court right at Newells. Hesslinga, little change up. Hesslinga just gets it over free. Here come the Birds. Ginjera out of bounds.
Kind of a funny play there. I think Ginjera's been having such a great night. He was at 62% efficiency in the last set, which is incredible. So I think the Bears got a bit lucky there with that error, but I'm sure he'll come back with something more impressive on this one.
Ginjera is 6th in the conference coming into action this weekend with a 30.2% hitting efficiency, in addition to being 3rd in kills and 2nd in kills per set.
I still can't believe how young he is. He's only in his second year. And so it'll be amazing to see what he's like. I mean, he's only going to get better, so it's going to be great to see what he's like.
He and Sargent will be an interesting matchup for a couple more years down the road as they go head-to-head. Hesslinga used a little bit of a screen there from Bisharovich, little decoy run.
Yeah, that overload I mentioned earlier, Bisharovich running a 31, so he's coming into a similar zone, and then the blockers are having to deal with time pressure. Who do you jump with? And very hard to recover when the outside set is that quick.
Early days in this third set, but it is a 2-point Alberta lead. Here's Hesslinga. Another good dig in the back from Greaves. Unfortunately, the timing between Mason Greaves and Kieran Robinson-Dunning not quite there that time. And an early timeout in this third set for Mike Hawkins, and we will take a quick break as well and be right back on Canada West TV. bit hard to believe that event now, basketball women's nationals final 8, less than 2 months away. March 7th, everything gets going here at the Saville Center. Can't wait for that. We've got some outstanding volleyball action on the floor right now as Hessling just put that one wide. Didn't miss by a ton, but our Eagle Eye Lions people, they don't miss very much, if anything at all. Trying to think of many that came out of timeouts that were in play. Coaches doing a good job here. Gingera will give the error right back. And it's Pesherovic ready to serve. Long run for Greaves. Popped it up, and that one from Mose is well out of bounds, but that's because it ramped up off fingertips, and the Bears cannot believe it.
Yeah, Mose also had a great set. We're talking about Gingera, but Mose at 57% efficiency, also exceptional. But I think this fourth set so far is just all about the errors. Like, we've seen a few service errors. Gingera made a couple of uncharacteristic hitting ones, and now Mose. So hopefully the level gets back to where it was soon.
There is Gavin Mose with the serve. Sargent kept alive by Greaves, but it comes back on the Bears side. Hesslinger! Pipe bomb!
What a great play.
That's such a great play. I feel like if you have taken the stats from the whole year of all of their pipes, I think it more than 50% efficiency. I don't know how many I've seen that haven't scored.
It's got to be a helpless feeling for the middle as you're dropping from your block, watching the other guy go up and rip one on you. Speaking of ripping one, there's another big kill for Gingera.
And he didn't have, I don't think he had a single block on that, so a little bit of confusion on the Bears side. Not too sure what happened, but
I think that's a good example of why it's hard to be a blocker at this level. The previous example, they're over jumping on the front row and not there for the back row. That time they just didn't react. So at this point in the match, they'll be making adjustments based on who's who, and we know Gingera needs a block on him.
Johnstone, with the help of the net, able to score a point for the Bears. Take another look. 3-point lead for Alberta. And the server, there's the guy from Lethbridge, Sargent, puts it into the net. I'll serve for Mason Greaves, setter for UBC. Just got it over. Esposito slam dunk going down the line. And it looked like UBC maybe forgot for a half second that he's left-handed. Changes the angle a little bit.
Definitely changes the angle, and he's just got such a high reach that he doesn't need to connect with the ball super well. He's got that, you can just flick it down just like he did there, and especially when you come in later into the set, it is hard to remember that they are left-handed.
Long run for Drybro, keeps it alive. That's tough though. Pesherovic will pop it up. Hesslinger! What a dig! And a net touch again against UBC.
Yeah, really good defensive effort here from both teams. You can see on the replay.
Again, just UBC, that net touch, like Mariah said, in those long plays, those crucial plays, maybe they just get a little too excited. They want that block to end that play, but
They've dug up 3 or 4 though that probably should have been on the floor.
For sure.
Kept them alive.
Yeah, the back row is very impressive. I don't think we've been talking about it as much tonight because the offense is also very good. But the amount of long rallies tonight for a men's volleyball match is outstanding. There's tons of defense, lots of transition. We've seen the liberos, the middle blockers stepping into set. Good all-around defensive play.
The 2 leaders in digs per set in the conference coming into action. Logan Greaves #1, Mason Greaves #2. And they are often the two that are making that first contact and keeping the ball off the floor. 11-7, Alberta in front here. Mike Hawkins has now used both of his timeouts in this third set. So he won't be able to stop play anymore unless he goes with a substitution. Players coming back on the floor here. Takes a little while for sometimes the crowd to realize they're on screen, but once they know, they have a good time. So it'll be Billy Johnstone out of the break. Dropping one in, there's Logan Greaves. Gingera right at Johnstone. Esposito off hands. Liam Esposito's come in and made a nice impact.
And a really great dig by Johnstone, and then Hesslinger coming in and giving Esposito. I think Esposito does a really good job on higher sets. I think he's got the more time. I think he does a really good job, and just like we saw there, he found those hands and made a really good attack.
Certainly got middle blocker height at 6'8", but plays on the outside. And speaking of height, there's Vincent dunking one down.
Yeah, nice play from Vincent. He's been a bit quiet for the last set or so, but he's always lurking.
Connor Tobe at the line. Good serve. And a free ball chance here for the Thunderbirds. Oh, and Vincent and Greaves didn't quite have the connection that time. A little surprising there.
Yeah, I don't really know what happened there. It looked like maybe Vincent thought it was, I don't know. Yeah, just like guess a misconnection, but if there's a good pass, I hope they go back to Vincent because he's been doing a really good job, and I think him and Greaves making that connection is important to continue to get better throughout the set.
Mose, big rip cross court.
Yeah, nice deep swing from Mose. Again, he was a major contributor in the second set. And this is bringing the T-Birds into a good rotation. They've got Gingera on the right. He's had a lot of success. Mose on the outside. And we've seen Vincent run a couple of points from the service line as well.
Vincent puts it into the net. On that serve, it's a 5-point Bears lead here in set number 3.
I think the Bears just need to work on their side. Like you mentioned before, UBC doesn't have any more timeouts. So Bears are in a really good position, and I think they just need to continue to work on their side, do what's been, do that?
Just do that? Just rip aces all night?
That would be nice. I think they just need to continue, not necessarily get those aces, but I think they need to continue with the aggressive serving and not stop their play.
Again, Hessling a 4th in the conference and aces coming in. You can't place one better than that between two defenders on the back line. It's going to force a substitution. Tobe comes out and Tobe comes in. Connor out, Nick in.
That's cool. Yeah, this is a great spot to serve. Mose is a front row attacker. He has other responsibilities.
Gingera, another use of the block there to get a point.
Yeah, great swing. I always like to see the right side or the opposite get set when they're going into serve like this, just to remind everybody the right side of the court is an offensive threat. And I'm sure we'll see him continue to get that C ball as well.
Big serve, Gingera.
Nice set there from Drybro.
Sargent got it over. That's tight. Kept alive. Another one that comes back on the Bears side. Drybro. Sargent blocked. Big time stuff by Greaves.
A really nice block there. That was a very fast set to the outside by Drybro. And they got it.
Yeah, nice touch there from Robinson Dunning. He kind of soft blocked it a little bit. Good awareness. He wasn't in perfect position. But I think that's sort of a good example of the risk of a really fast offense. Sargent in particular, he's very good a lot of the time when he's rushed, but that time it looked like he didn't get his full stride. not quite getting up in the air. And if the block is rushed, you're also rushed.
Gingerra serving. Another big rip at it, but Newell's passed it nicely, and Hesslinga, another pipe attack. That one a little bit up tempo.
What a great play. Like, we can't say it enough. Oh, it's just so fast. They're still getting a gap in the block, and you know next time if the T-Birds do pick up on that, it's just making it harder and harder for them to block the pins.
Serve from Basharovich. Floats and drops in! Well, you can see the T-Birds trying to will that one over the back line, but...
And you know what? I'm not surprised that they left it, because the Bears have been missing the serves, not by much every time, but they have been missing them.
This is a good contribution from Basharovich. He's in and off the bench quite a bit throughout the season, and good example, Graydon Weeb, normally a great server for the Bears, a little bit quiet tonight, and Basharovich just stepping up.
Mose out-muscles the block that time.
Yeah, I think Weeb and Basharovich are pretty similar players, so it's nice when you can count on one and then use them interchangeably. So I think that's very nice that Basharovich is coming in and making that difference.
Mose, the server, represented Alberta at the North American Indigenous Games. Unfortunately puts that one into the net. (18-12), Alberta in front as they look to stay alive in this match. Here's Drybro. Couldn't quite trickle that one over. Went for something a little different down the line instead of cross court that time. Serve sub for UBC. We see Nicholas Johnson come in once again, this time for Kieran Robinson-Dunning. Johnson, the second year out of Surrey, BC. A little bit of trouble. Newell's tracks it down. Tobe played it over. Sargent through the block and down.
It's good to see from Sargent. He's gotten, some challenging sets tonight, but this is a good example of the Bears. They had to give up a free ball, and again, they're supporting that with really strong offense.
And really nice to see him go after Vincent, a really strong blocker, so good on Sargent.
Sargent will serve now. Another good pass from Logan Greaves. Quick run. Big take by Sargent. Hesslinga tips, and it does fall to the floor.
I think with UBC's defensive strength, it's a bit surprising they didn't see this tip coming. This looks, I think he did disguise it well, but it wasn't as aggressive as we sometimes see from Hesslinga.
I think maybe UBC is just a little surprised that the Bears are getting those digs that maybe in the first sets they weren't getting. So Bears doing a really good job of picking up their defense in this set.
Missed pass by the T-Birds. Esposito couldn't make them pay. Back row for Mose, but he sliced it a little bit wide. Should mention too that on the Thunderbirds side, it looks like they're going to make another sub, but we saw John Lockie, third-year middle blocker from Winnipeg, come in for Vincent, and now we're going to see Jackie Liu step in for Gavin Mose. This looks like more of a defensive substitution. Liu, the libero, in for Mose. Shore up the serve receive on Sargent. 8-point Bears lead. Right at Liu, and Sargent with another ace.
That was a wicked serve. It was a spin serve, but I think it was kind of like a float. Like some sort of odd spin on it, so very, very hard to pass.
Imagine coming off the bench and that's the first thing you see. Try to dig that one up. Sargent had a good run. I think he got a little excited and put that one out the back.
But you know what? The Bears are in a pretty good spot, 22-14. They've got a little bit of wiggle room, and you have to maintain aggression.
Server is Mason Greaves. Here comes Esposito. Logan Greaves Great diving play. I'm surprised they let that one count, but it doesn't matter because Espedito hammers it to the floor.
I mentioned earlier that Espedito does good with high sets, but that was like a 60, 62, and his arm was ready, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah, we'll see it again here, just the pace of it. It is a little bit closer to a middle attack, so nice to see the Bears keeping that variation, and I think they were a bit annoyed with that other ball wasn't called out, so that is what you want to do when you're frustrated.
We had a great angle of that, and give Logan Greaves all the credit in the world, but that went over the antenna. Another ace! This one from Graydon Weeb, who subbed in to serve, and maybe that will get the captain going a little bit more now as he serves for Johnstone here. Set point, Alberta. Well, we were looking for a response from the Bears after dropping the opening two. Coming out making a statement here in set number 3. Chance to put it away! Sargent on the line! 25-14. Alberta takes set number 3, and we will play one more at least.
That was a really good set there by the Bears. I think they kind of deflated UBC a little bit, and we didn't really see the same UBC team that we saw in the first and the second. So really good on the Bears to come out with great offense, great defense, and really, really fight for that set.
Yeah, I think it would be kind of crazy if we saw the second set UBC again, just given those offensive numbers. Like, it was out of this world success from both of their pins. So they seem to be playing a little bit more at a normal level, and I think the Bears have definitely started digging balls that they were missing the first set, and then getting a few more kills as well. So this is exactly what you want mid-set, where both teams are playing at a good level. I am curious, we saw Mose come off the court for a bit there, and Gingera was a bit quiet. So I think if they kind of pick it back up and the Bears hold this level, we're in for a long match.
Would have been a shame if we only played 3 between these two good teams anyway. So let's play 4, and here are a look at the standings as we mentioned. These are the women's standings. We'll see the top 2 teams going head to head. Of course, you got Trinity Western a couple games behind, and they haven't won a game or haven't lost a game yet, just behind in points because of the lack of games played. But it's a cluster up top on the women's side as well, and like I said, it's going to be a great one between the Pandas and T-Birds a little bit later on. Why don't we take a quick break and be right back with that 4 set in about 90 seconds here on Canada West TV. Back inside the Saville Community Sports Center, Grayson Knutson with Carly Jansen and Mariah Walsh. Hope you're enjoying your Friday evening. This has been a fun one so far. UBC won the opening 2 sets. Alberta responded in a big way in set number 3.
And just looking at the stats from this match so far, it's kind of the first time the Bears are in the realm of the offensive efficiency of the T-Birds. So the stats right now looking fairly equal across the board. So it's a good place to be going into a 4th.
Tough start for the T-Birds as Greaves Puts a serve into the net. Apologizing as he speaks with head coach Mike Hawkins. Billy Johnstone will do the serving now. Gingera over the top. I think he clipped nails, pardon me if I can get that word out. On the way down to the floor.
A nice swing here from Gingera. He's normally on the opposite side, but does just as well. I think he might be targeting the middle blocker there on defense, and nice deep shot.
Connor Tobe back on the floor. Besherovich couldn't get a good swing on it. Gingera readjusts. Hesslinga dunks it right into the pot.
Hesslinga doing a really good job. I don't think UBC has dug that particular area when Hesslinga has been hitting, so really good job of just going back to the well of what's working until they stop it.
Here's a look at Liam Espedito as he gets ready to serve. Fantastic camera angle. That one from Mose is blocked. Another chance for the Birds. Blocked Gingera, but it goes out of bounds. Hesslinga a little disappointed. Knew he had him lined up, just couldn't keep the ball in play.
I almost wonder if Gingera, that was his, he was going for off the hands. I don't know, because he looked like he just had a great smirk on his hand, like it worked, and really brave to go for those hands. Sometimes it can just, well, we saw it earlier, just go straight down into your court.
James Vincent. Besherovich couldn't quite get on top of it. Hasn't had a lot of joy offensively, sorry, but been solid defensively, Besherovich here.
I was going to echo exactly that. He's been really good blocking-wise and some serving. And I think that is Besherovich's strength, which is great as a middle blocker. But it's good to see Drybrow going to him right now. It's important when the teams are so evenly matched to reestablish the middle. That opens up the pipe to Hesslinga. It opens up the wings. So I think Drybrow is going to own that one and maybe give him another shot, something he's more comfortable with.
Isaac Hesslinga ready to serve for the Bears. 3 apiece in set number 4. Long run for Greaves, just pops it up for Mose. Big dig by Hesslinga, but nobody's going to track down that second ball. Espedito tried, but not quite. Some damage to the A-frames, but that's all right.
Yeah, that was I think that ball may have been out, but it's so hard to tell. You have to play 6 back so deep because of the hand touches.
Sargent partially blocked. Here come the Bears. Clever from Greaves. Just flipped one over.
Yeah, nice choice from Greaves. When you're on the run, I think he was in a gap. And when you're going to set it over like that with 2 hands, you need to be in a gap. If you run into a blocker there, it's pretty easy block, but I think he's been really patient with that one and probably knew he was going to score.
Gingera will let her fly. Better toss that time, led to a harder serve. Mose got another point. UBC starting strong in set 4, and Brock Daviduk's seen enough for now. 6-3 the score, and he takes the timeout.
I was just going to say UBC is coming out a lot better than that third set. So they've talked it out, and I think they're really applying more pressure to the Bears, and I think the Bears kind of feel that and sense that, and we can see that on the court with a couple miscommunication errors.
And you want to see that from a team after they get, not dummied, but they got handed it to them a little bit there in that third set, so you love to see the bounce back.
Yeah, absolutely. I think with some of the players like Mose, he struggled a little bit. He was really a service target in that last set. But coming back and executing like he has been, Gingera too, a couple of weird mistakes, and then they just bounce right back. I think that's something we see often in Canada West. Some of the best players, it's definitely not that they don't make errors, but they just don't make a bunch in a row. They don't get stuck in that rut.
6-3, T-Birds in front. A quick peek at the huddle. Mike Hawkins is speaking with his setter there and with Reeve Gingerra. Fun evening at the Saville Center. So we're just getting started too. We've got another fantastic match coming up on the ladies' side between the Pandas and T-Birds. You can also catch that one on CBC Sports and CBC Gem. Glad to have our Canada West TV coverage shared on those platforms as well. Big serve, Gingerra, and a great pass by Sargent. Mose, right at Bryce Newells. Esposito from the back, long run, and not even Logan Greaves can track that one down.
And nice to see that C-ball working. I know Mariah was mentioning it earlier that really wasn't connecting, so nice to see that. Esposito, obviously maybe a little bit different because he's left-handed, so maybe a little bit more comfortable for him for that C-ball, but really nice to see that they went back to that and it was effective.
Bisharovich will serve. And a tricky float serve fooled Connor Tobe. Ace for Bisharovich.
Yeah, another nice serve from Bisharovich. We've mentioned it a couple of times, but he is very steady, always dependable when he's called upon. I think just another example of the Bears' strong program. Esposito, Bisharovich, guys coming in, ready to contribute, a true team.
That one from Tobe, a better pass. Gingerra from the back, asking for a touch, none given. Referee just shakes his head. And we're even at 6, 3 in a row now from Alberta. We'll see if we can catch the touch if there was one. Doesn't really look like it.
And that'll be Gingerra's 6th error versus Mose right now, still at 10 kills with only 2 errors. Really impressive.
Here is Mose. How about another kill to add to the tally for the Barhead product? Bisharovich is in the right spot, just couldn't quite handle that one. Gavin Mose will now serve. Back row, Hesslinga off hands, and the back line was frozen.
You have to be frozen because you have to expect that deep driven hit, so again, the pipe does it all.
This is a better reaction from the UBC blockers for sure. It's a good touch in another world, but they'll have to keep progressing to keep that pipe under control.
Gingerra able to muscle that one over, and then the Bears couldn't find it as it bounced off the net.
Those are probably the most frustrating balls. You slow the ball down at the net, but you just don't have enough time to react or turn, and it's there, and everyone's just screaming at you, go, but you don't know where this ball is.
Kieran Robinson-Dunning with the serve. Johnstone was up high. Big swing from Tobe.
I think the Bears are having a little difficulty with their middles right now. We saw Bisharovich just not the same connections that we were having earlier. They're kind of swatting at the ball and not really that clean hit. So I think they kind of need to discuss that, figure that out, and I think it will start connecting with them.
Another serve for Robinson-Dunning. Sargent this time off hands. Nobody can reel that one in. Point Alberta.
Yeah, nice play there from Sargent. That'll be his 10th kill with about 4 errors, so he's at about 25% right now efficiency. And I think you can tell from his reaction there, this is the point in the match he likes to get set.
Fortunately, his serve goes into the net. Can't consolidate on that point. 2-point Thunderbird lead at 10-8. Mason Greaves back at the line once again. Esposito had to readjust it, get it over. Gingerra on a trouble ball, able to just put one away.
Yeah, another good swing from Gingerra. I'm really impressed with his range. It's a non-setter setting, and he's managing to make that a line shot. So the Bears, he's one of those guys, he's going to get lots of kills, but it's about how can you adjust and just keep him under control.
And one was slowed down off the hand of Hesslinga. Tobe, loud appeals for a touch because there was one this time, and it's a point for UBC, a 4-point lead, and Brock Davidoff going to take another timeout here. His second of the set already. See, he caught the fingertips there. Great start for the Thunderbirds. And again, you've made the opposite coach like Alberta did in set 3 burn their timeouts early on.
And that's not the best position to be in to burn those before 10, but you have, I mean, when do you use the timeouts? Do you wait and have a bigger gap, or so it's really hard to be a coach. When do you make the decisions?
I mean, you might as well use them. You can't take them home with you. They don't do you any good. So
could you imagine if you could build them up? Just have
team comes into a match with like 10 timeouts every 2 points.
That would be a long game.
It would. UBC hoping that this isn't a longer game. They want to finish this thing off, and of course, remind viewers to stick around after the match. We'll try to grab someone from the winning team, regardless of who it is, and bring them on for an interview with a quick catch-up with their thoughts on the contest as teams return to the floor here out of this timeout. 4-point UBC lead, but again, there is a lot of time still left in this set. Greaves out of the timeout will continue to serve. Esposito somehow found a hole in that block and got it down.
Great swing from Esposito. His 6th kill, no errors so far. I think that was kind of a weird one to block. He was way off the net. So definitely tricky timing. You have to sort of delay, but he has a really fast arm, so well played.
Serve sub, Johnstone out, Weeb comes in. Had an ace last time up. After a few errors earlier in the match, we'll see if he has dialed in that range now. Tight to the net. There's a block by Bisharovich. Another chance for the Birds. Weeb is down with a pancake dig. T-Birds, another attack with Ginjera up against 3, and it drops. Point Alberta.
That's got to feel good at this point. They've been burned so many times by Ginjera. And we can see here a really solid Bear block. They're holding it. Ginjera's not overreacting, but you do want to celebrate that one.
It was all defense from Alberta. On that play, the Weeb pancake kept it alive earlier in the rally. He serves again. Ginjera blocked again. This one, though, will deflect all the way out of bounds. That was close.
Those are tough ones. That's a great block by the Bears, and just unfortunate that it just didn't make it into the court.
13-10. UBC in front, and they will look to Connor Tobe to try to stretch the lead. Tough one there, and it's easy for Mose.
Yeah, good execution from Mose. We saw it early on. You know, sometimes players don't execute that play, but he's been really dialed in, especially in this 4th set. And of course, a great serve.
Tobe will fire another one off here. Good pass from Sargent this time. Esposito leans into one. And he barely has to jump.
That makes it, you know, nice when you don't really have to jump. It kind of helps with timing a little bit, but Esposito just doing a really good job, and Dryborough, great set. The blockers are quite spread on UBC, so it lots of room for Esposito.
He'll go back to the service line now and let her go. Goes into the net. I was going to say, when you come in off the bench like this, your main goal is to make it impossible for the coach to take you back out, isn't it?
Yeah.
Go ahead. That is a good goal, and you know, it fires up your other team too, or the rest of the players on your team, when someone comes in and just makes everyone else better.
Service error on the T-Birds side as well. Vincent has not had a lot of luck from the line tonight. 15-12, T-Birds in front. Here's Isaac Hesslinga now. Dropped one in through the changeup. And it's another ace for Hesslinga. Mike Hawkins doesn't like the looks of that, so he'll take a timeout. Alberta's crept back to within 2 here. So still work to do for the Bears, but they're trending in the right direction now.
Yeah, you can definitely feel that momentum shifting. And I think they've done a good job of changing some things that were tough for them early in the match. So really good to see consistent serving from Hesslinga. And then just even that one block against Gingera, I think, is a huge indicator of kind of where the Bears are at. They're making good adjustments. And then the last big change, I think, is Espedito out there making really good offensive contributions.
15-13, UBC in front. This is the 4th set. If the T-Birds are able to pull off the victory in this one, they would claim the match. Alberta looking to stretch it to the maximum 5 sets. It's been a fun one here at the Saville Center. Again, these two teams will play in the second half of the doubleheader tomorrow. No earlier than 6:30 Mountain, 5:30 Pacific. Depends how long, of course, the Panda game prior to it goes. We suspect it might go a little ways too. I don't think we'll see any sweeps this weekend, but I suppose you never know. Hesslinga will serve coming out of the timeout. There's a good pass in. Robinson Dunning able to find the sideline.
Yeah, crazy angle on that. That's
Yeah,
very
really
hard
good
to
job
dig.
of Robinson Dunning coming in and being ready for that set. A great pass.
Gingera the server. Big time rip. Drybro saves it. T-Birds can go on the attack here though. Mose found the sideline.
He's been successful on that angle a couple of times, and there's a lot of space for Knowles to take there, but I think maybe he needs to make that adjustment and just take one step to his left. I think that might help him in a better defensive position.
Maybe even the block on that one. The set was super inside, but good angle nonetheless.
Espedito from the back can't keep that one under control. And the UBC lead has ballooned to 5. Gavin Mose having a heck of a game. Now Gingera will serve. Another big blast, and it's an ace! Right on the back line. Brock Davidoff cannot believe it. That thing had some heat. It can be tough to tell if it was in or out.
Oh, tough.
Need the end line cam for that one. Gingera, back-to-back aces. UBC running away with this 4th set now. Back row Espedito. Not sure if it was blocked or didn't get over. Either way, another Thunderbird point. And this is a mirror image of set number 3.
Yeah, I think a combination, really good execution from Gingera on the service line. But I think that's the first error we've seen from Espedito and you just don't want it to be right now.
Gingerra continuing his great run of serve here. Mose blocked. Another chance. They go right back to the number 6. Dug up by Newells. Sargent. Jacob Sargent, second chance. Another block. Robinson Dunning took away the cross-court angle.
I don't think the Bears are doing anything wrong. I think UBC is just making it really hard for them to score a point. Really great defense they're covering, and I think they have to keep swinging away, but maybe try a couple different shots here and there. The off-speed to the pot has been really successful when Hessling has done it, so maybe the offense. But again, they're in a maybe not the best rotation that they want to be right now.
Dylan Martin's coming in for Jacob Sargent. Different look offensively. Hessling with a tip from the pipe. Try as they might, the T-Birds can't scramble that one back over.
When in doubt, go to the pipe, I suppose. Even though it's a tip, it's a different version of the pipe. It's a really good job of Hessling to make that work.
Yeah, nice effort there from Logan Greaves on the left side of the court. You'd want to see him kind of going with that left hand. I think he could have got it, but he went with the right, and it just makes it tough to dig. Nicely played, though, from Hesslinga.
Besherovich serving. Mose off hands. Esposito, awkward, but it worked. What a dig by Greaves again. Mose stuffed! Johnstone with a fist pump. Trying to do what they can to stretch this match out. Stay alive, the Golden Bears at the moment. Besherovich serving again. Here's a back row for Gingerra. He tips it over. And that was still up unless they call a lift. Ooh. Crowd is letting the officials have it here.
I think it's a good call by the crowd. It looked like it was.
It was up from our angle for sure.
I don't know if it was a carry or.
You maybe could have called a lift, but it didn't hit the floor.
It's a tough one.
Tough to tell from that angle as we return to live action. Dylan Martins hammers one down.
Yeah, great swing from Martins. He's been off for quite some time, and that is why he's a freshman on the court. But it's hard at this point always because you wonder if it's too little too late.
Referee now having a word with Sam Drybro, the de facto captain on the floor right now with Weeb on the bench. I think that's a warning for the bench. They were really animated after that point. There's that dig from Besherovich that was called on the floor. Drybro the serve. Robinson Dunning bringing up match point for the Thunderbirds. Okay. So subbing in here is Nicholas Johnson on match point for the Thunderbirds. As UBC looks to put this one away. Esposito off the block. Quick in the middle there, and it's Vincent finishing the match. And the Thunderbirds win it in 4 sets, improving to 11-4, dropping the Bears to 11-4. Carly, before you run away here, just get your thoughts on the match.
I think the Bears did a really good job in coming out on that 2-0. You know, they came out with lots of energy. It was a great set, but I think UBC did a really good job of not letting that third set determine the rest of the game. And I think they made it really difficult for the Bears to come out, and like you see here, they just took the game, and they did a really good job of staying composed on their side, defensively, offensively.
Excellent. Mariah, what did you make of the match overall? Obviously, UBC able to find a way in those first 2 sets. And when you find yourselves down a couple of sets, it's always a hard way back, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, especially against a powerhouse like the T-Birds. I think overall we saw some really strong volleyball kind of in the middle of the match, but definitely some dips there from the Bears at times, and I think tonight the T-Birds did a better job of weathering those challenges. But definitely lots to look forward to tomorrow. I was very impressed with the defense overall, and I think another nice thing to see, we've got 2 players on the T-Birds with 17 and 15 kills each, and then on the Bears, a couple players with more than 10 as well. So some distribution, that's good to see. But I'm sure the Bears would like to see this one go to 5 at least. I'm a little bit surprised that it didn't. I think they'll have some film to do in the morning.
It'll be a good one again tomorrow night. There'll be the second game of the doubleheader, not before 6:30 Mountain, 5:30 Pacific time. We're going to try to get Gavin Mose up here for a quick chat post-game. Carly's just wrangling him off the floor. I'm sure he's got some friends and family to go talk to with as well after this, so we'll try to keep this brief for Gavin as he joins us now. We'll give him a throw on the headset here. Don't want to mess that flow up. It's looking good today. Here is Gavin Mose from the victorious UBC Thunderbirds. First of all, Gavin, congratulations on the victory. What did you see from your perspective here this evening?
A lot of fans against us. We knew we were coming into a barn that was going to be not cheering for us exactly, so we knew we just had to keep it on our side and just play our volleyball, and that's kind of what we did. We took care of business.
After that third set, Alberta came back strong. You guys, though, responded with a brilliant 4-set. What was kind of said in between the 2 sets there?
Yeah, we just kind of had a lapse, just kind of a bump in the road. We knew we were going to come back and just play our volleyball again. We weren't too worried about it. They're a good team, so we knew they were going to give us a push, and as they did, but we just managed to come out victorious this time.
Yeah, absolutely. You had a great night, 15 kills with just 2 errors on 30 attempts. So I think anybody would be happy to see that efficiency.
Yeah.
There was a tiny little blip there in the third for you. How did you kind of make that adjustment, coming off the court? I know there was some passing struggles maybe a bit in the third. So what's going through your head? How do you make that adjustment?
Yeah, just kind of going back to practice, all the work I put in. I knew I was a good passer, and like the third set in of itself, it's just a lapse. Just kind of had to get out of my head a little bit, and we did. So, and it worked out for us. So yeah.
Well, great job.
Thank you.
When I look at your guys' roster, you've got nobody beyond their 3rd year of eligibility. This is a young group that's getting better and going to continue to get better. How exciting is it to be a part of that?
Man, so exciting to see that we can click so well in our pretty much first year together, and knowing that we have at least 2 more years together is pretty exciting. Sky's the limit for this group, so I'm excited to see where it goes.
I would agree 100%. Obviously, being from Barrhead, must be nice to come home, maybe not to this weather, but must be nice to come home, play in front of friends and family.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the best.
Awesome. Well, I'm sure they're waiting for you, so go say hi, and best of luck tomorrow, Gavin. Appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
There you go. Gavin Mose joining us here on the post-game show. He'll hand the headset off, and we'll see Gavin and the T-Birds again tomorrow evening. Bring Carly Jansen back in, maybe just for one last wrap of the match here, but a fun one, and I would anticipate much the same again tomorrow. Carly, what are you looking for from both teams, maybe just to make adjustments for the match on Saturday?
I think it'll be interesting, the lineups that we see tomorrow. I think that will contribute to kind of some differences in how they come out. And I think UBC did a really good job of targeting some things that weren't going the way of the Bears. So I think the Bears just kind of need to focus on video will help, focus on what was the key moments that really were giving us more difficulty, and then focus on those things, those attacks that were really, like Hessling was doing a really good job of finding some different angles. So I think the video will be a really telling of kind of those things that they need to adjust for tomorrow.
Should be fun, and we'll look forward to that one tomorrow. Also looking forward to the Pandas and T-Birds. Again, 2 of the top teams once again in Canada West going head to head. We'll have that one for you in about 18 minutes or so will join you, and that one also going to be on CBC Sports and CBC Gem. So hopefully you can stay with us. If not, thank you so much for watching. On behalf of our entire crew, Mariah, Carly, and Grayson here with you. We'll see you back for the women's game in about 18 minutes.